Eating out makes you fat. See, that's the lie that lazy people tell themselves for the reason why they're being overweight. And they want to blame the restaurant or they want to blame the eating out part, but it's really just their strategy and their plan that's the problem. See, if you go in hungry and indecisive, you're going to make bad decisions, right? You can't expect to have success by not planning ahead of time. You're just winging it, and we all know that doesn't work out well. Now, look, I used to dodge eating out all the time, especially when my friends would ask me, like, "Hey, let's go out to eat here, or let's go drinking here." And I'd be like, "Nah, man, I'm on a health journey," and they just wouldn't understand like the pain that I was going through. But eventually, I realized that it wasn't the restaurant that was the problem. The problem was me not having a plan when actually going through that stuff, right? So, a couple quick tips I can give you guys is if you are going to eat out, just research and look at the menu before even going. This will take out a whole bunch of indecisiveness. You know what you're going to eat. Like as soon as you get there, you're not going to, look at the menu for like 10 minutes and be all indecisive. And I would rather make that decision when I'm not hungry because if I am hungry, I'm going to probably order twice as much food as I need to. Now, the second tip I can give you guys is just to make sure that you're actually prioritizing foods or meals in this deal, right? That actually have a good amount of protein in it. So, if you're going for sushi or if you're going for, noodles or something like yakisoba, right? Pick a protein and like get more of that. So instead of like thinking that salads are the way to go because they're healthy, and you would actually be surprised that most salads are like really high in calories because of the sauces. But you want to pick the proteins because it's going to give you one, more protein, especially to hit your protein goal. But two, because it's going to make you feel satiated. It's going to make you feel full and you'll tend to stop eating as much. So typically it's like grilled chicken, lean pieces of steak, tuna, salmon, things like that. Now, a big thing that's going to kill your diet progress, right, is eating too much carbs. This is one of the biggest things that, completely derail people is eating too much carbs. So, in the American diet, right? Most people have fries with burgers. Now, if you think about it, every time you eat that combo, you feel tired and sluggish. And it's because there's so much carbs, right? If you take off the buns from the burger and just eat the burger with the fries, you notice that you have way more energy, less sluggish feeling, right? And less calories. Let's be honest, it's just going to be less calories. So, what I recommend is having one carb source and not two. So, if you're going to eat a burger, eat it without the bun and then have the fries. Or you can just have the burger with the buns and no fries and pick a different side. I was at work one day in the lunchroom and, you know, after prepping my meals for so long, I noticed that hey, I'm always feeling tired after I eat at lunch, and I wanted to do something about that. So I kind of structured my meals to have carbs around my workout, which was actually in the morning, and then carbs later at night. So at lunch, I pretty much had like a salad with cucumbers and tomatoes and tuna, right? But there was no actual carb source. It wasn't like a rice or potatoes or anything like that. And what I noticed was that not only was it less calories, but I did not feel sluggish at all. I got back to work, felt really good. And that's a tip that some of you guys can have for, just another day. But carbs are meant to be your source of energy. And if you don't need that energy, there's no reason to be eating that especially in the middle of the day because you're already up, you already have your day going. It might work for some people, but I've noticed that if you cut out carbs when you're not working as hard, your life will significantly improve. Now, the third thing that helped me out with eating out, right, is if you do get a really huge portion of food, I just ask the waiter, like, hey, can you get me a box? And I'll box up like half of that stuff before I even start eating. That takes away the guilt of like eating the whole thing right then and there or trying to stuff my face to get it off the plate. Because I know some of you guys, I've been there. I've been, eating all of it because I want to get it off the plate and I don't want to take anything home. But taking the food home is going to save you. Trust me, it saved me. Look, if eating out ruins your diet, you're not actually committed, okay? You don't need to stay inside and not go out on social events just because you're on a fitness journey. What you need is a solid plan. Remember, fellas, greatness isn't given, it's earned.